Hey everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Room, where we talk all things comics and movies. This is episode number 22. We're discussing summer blockbusters. I'm one of your hosts, Tim.
I'm Troy.
I feel like it's been forever since we recorded.
It does, right? That Saturday kind of threw it off.
Yeah, so we recorded a little early last week to accommodate some scheduling. And so we recorded on Saturday, and we usually record on Mondays, and now I'm all thrown off by everything, and I'm having a hard time deciphering what we've talked about in our personal lives and what we've talked about on the podcast. So if there's some overlap somewhere, I apologize. I didn't go back and recheck. I went through kind of the show notes and I was like, I don't think we've talked about some of this stuff, but I don't know.
There's so much stuff to talk about, right? Every day something's coming out.
Exactly. We missed news last week, so there's kind of like, we got this backlog of news to get through over this. So we're going to jump straight into it.
Nice.
Civil War, man, you had a chance to sneak out and grab a second viewing.
Yeah,
Do your thoughts, does everything hold up?
Everything does. You know, it's quite opposite from Age of Ultron. When I went to see Age of Ultron, I was blown away the first screening. And then when I saw it again, the next time, I kind of saw the holes in the film. But seeing this Civil War, just fantastic. And it's kind of cool. It's a little more relaxing because the anticipation was gone. So I could just really just sit back, watch the movie, enjoy things. The humor was just as funny the second time, too. I was just counting those beats, waiting for the punchlines, and it just worked every time. So again, you heard the review last time. Yeah, still nothing but good things to say about Civil War. Seeing it the second time, who knows? Maybe I'll try and go and see it the third time.
I gotta get in there and see it a second. I haven't had a chance to get there yet. Yeah, but now hearing that, and that's what I'm hoping for, because like I said last week, there's so much anticipation going in. Yes, we did a lot of work towards trying to understand and predict what was going on. And like I said, that kind of took me out of it. Not a lot, but just a tiny bit. So I'm really looking forward to going back and checking out that second viewing.
Nice. Yeah, totally worth it.
Yeah. And it looks like we're not the only ones that are either contemplating or have gone and seen this a second time. Yeah. So it's had another big weekend of the box office, taking the number one domestically, number one globally. And this thing had a 60% drop, so it took in about $72 million over the box office, or over the weekend, which is stellar. Again. Huge. And Disney seems to be cannibalizing on itself because it's got like 2 or 3 films there.
Oh yeah, Jungle Book's just behind it, I think, at number 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Zootopia just left the number 5 spot, so that's incredible. So
this gives Captain America Civil War the 8th highest grossing second weekend of all time. Yeah. So that puts it up there, kind of banging around with Jurassic World, Star Wars, Avengers, Age of Ultron, so all those movies. So it's sitting in that category. And awesome. It's playing very, very similar to Iron Man 3, actually.
Right. I think it's numbers. Is it the 6th biggest superhero movie, I think?
Yeah, it's sitting in there, yeah. Okay, so it's creeping up on $1 billion already globally. Yeah. So it's at like $940 million as we're recording, and I'm assuming but towards the end of the week, we're going to be at $1 billion.
That's incredible.
No problem.
Is this the third week or second week?
This would be the second weekend,
That's incredible.
Second weekend.
Yeah, second weekend. Wow.
What this does for the MCU, this movie pushes the MCU globally over the $10 billion mark. Wow. So this franchise, since 2008, since its inception, has made over $10 billion globally. It's the biggest franchise of all time. Yeah. Yes, it does have 13 movies in it compared to something like Star Wars or Harry Potter that has 7 or 8 entries, right?
Exactly.
It looks like this franchise going forward, especially with considering the quality of movies they're putting out and the volume of movies they're putting out, nothing's ever going to touch this. No. As far as global box office. No. And franchises. The one exception would be potentially Star Wars, but the rate that they're putting the movies out, even just one a year, is going to keep up to Marvel's 3 movies a year, even though it's doing $2 billion a movie. But
so these numbers, they're great. They're nothing to look down upon at all. But what did it do? Opening weekend box office? 7, just below 180. 180. So my prediction was off. I totally flunked that one. But there's word of mouth going around that are we at a superhero fatigue? What do you think? I mean, I think that's still a great number, but I think they had it set higher than 180.
Yeah, so initially. A lot of people, us included, were looking at the $200 million mark. That seems to be the bar that everyone's setting at now, where it's like, if you get over $200 million, you're a bona fide hit. Yeah. And Sanjay threw out an interesting tweet. It's like, why is everyone disappointed that Civil War made $180 million its opening weekend? Exactly. Like, it was only in 2002 or so that we got over the $100 million mark, and people were losing it, saying nothing's ever going to beat Spider-Man. Nothing's ever going to beat it. And now we're at this 200, and Force Awakens took it to another level with the 250. And so are we getting into a superhero fatigue? I don't know. I think maybe we'll put this on hold until we talk about our summer blockbuster kind of section at the end here, because we're going to go through at the end of or towards the end of the podcast and talk about summer blockbusters, kind of how they came about and what we're looking at in 2016. Because when I was looking at this, I'm looking at some of the movies that are coming out, and if it weren't for the superhero movies, I don't know if I'd be spending a ton of time at the movie theater this year.
That's true.
Yeah. These are now the summer blockbusters. These have taken over from your action-packed, your big effects sort of movies.
Yeah.
And without those, you take those away, what's left? Kind of, and so we'll get into that a little later. That's an interesting point. But just to give a little insight, I don't really think we're at a superhero fatigue.
Right.
And you got to think too. It's start of summer.
Yeah.
I know this is usually the big time. Age of Ultron didn't do much better.
That's right.
And it's got that Avengers title in front of it.
Yeah.
And this, conceptually is very similar to an Avengers movie, but it's still Cap's story.
Yeah.
And I think it's more well done than Avengers and Age of Ultron, and it has better word of mouth than that. So this thing might just have a longer runtime in the theaters than Age of Ultron did.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's still going to do well over $1 billion. It's probably going to park itself around 1.3 to 1.5. So this is still
incredible.
A massive hit.
Well, it's a huge success for Disney.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And Disney themselves are killing it.
Oh my goodness, are they ever?
Their box office total domestically is already over $1 billion. So that's with The Jungle Book, Zootopia, and Civil War.
Wow.
And so they did that in 128 days. So that's the fastest ever by a long mark. Universal did it last year in 165 days.
Wow.
Over the domestic billion. But
they also pump out a lot more movies, I think, too, don't they?
Yeah, and they had a couple big hits. Fast, Furious 7, Minions, and Jurassic World.
Jurassic World
is
huge.
So they had some big ones. But Disney's already taken that, and they still have this massive slate of movies.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, they're cannibalizing themselves because this Jungle Book and Civil War competing with each other, and then the family movie is Zootopia, which is another Disney movie.
Exactly, and I think they still have Finding Dory and Doctor Strange.
And Rogue One.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also at the end of the month, Alice Through the Looking Glass.
That's right.
You look at the biggest movies they have, so Star Wars, Marvel stuff, and Pixar stuff, they're all purchases.
Oh.
And then now you have this kind of Disney live action Jungle Book, Cinderella, Alice. So they have that own
all that.
So they have that kind of niche there.
Yeah.
But then the three big properties that they bought, there was like $4 billion for Marvel, $4 billion for Star Wars, I think $7 for Pixar.
Wow.
And they're all like, it's insane how much money they're making. So the person who decided, let's buy Marvel in a couple years, let's buy Star Wars.
Good job.
People were questioning, are they going to get the return on these?
Yeah.
And they've always been one of the big ones. But it's absolutely crazy how much money they're making this year.
Just incredible.
So with all the press junkets and that with Civil War, we're getting the Russos in particular doing some interviews. And there's a really interesting one in Empire Magazine. And if you go back a couple episodes to our prediction episode on Civil War, and even last week talked a bit about this idea, this concept of the death of Captain America.
Yeah.
And I was a very big proponent of pushing, saying they're definitely doing this. If I was a betting man, I would have laid it all on the table and said they're 100% killing Captain America. But the Russos talked to that idea and why they didn't take that route in particular with the story. And they called it, they didn't want to take the easy route out.
That's cool.
They're going through the article and they're discussing this idea of people are starting to see this formula. Like we get to a point, we kill someone, we bring them back. And they didn't want to repeat that. So they want to break away from that formula, which is really nice and refreshing to hear.
It is.
That even though this was like a beloved and very highly praised comic book and the follow-on The Fallen Sun stuff, what I would have really liked to see them go, they want to leave the Avengers more fractured.
Right.
And kind of this, instead of having the family come together over the death of a superhero, they want to leave this kind of very ambiguous and kind of out there ready for the other stories to pick up the pieces. And, whether this was a bit self-serving, because eventually it's all going to come back around in Infinity War for themselves.
Yeah.
So they left the Avengers kind of broken, disassembled, if you will.
Yeah.
And they're eventually going to bring them back together in Infinity War.
Nice. I like that a lot because it's been pretty easy for them to just kill off these characters and we see them come back, apart from Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Everyone they've killed off come back. Nick Fury, how many times? Coulson and I'm forgetting. Oh, and Loki.
Yeah.
Right? So, I like that fact that they decide to keep Cap around.
Yeah, they've broken away, and kind of they have the two writers that they've been working with too, through Winter Soldier, Civil War, and now into Infinity War, all have this idea, and they seem to be pumping out these high quality movies. So it makes me extra excited for Infinity War.
Definitely, yeah, I can't wait. My only recommendation, not like I know much because I'm not a marketer myself, but maybe they should slow it down on when they release this movie ahead of the regular audience. So as opposed to pumping it out a month before for like the private screenings, I think they should kind of tighten that a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that kind of hurt the film a little bit because there's like a month of buzz going around and the general audience couldn't even see this movie, right?
Yeah.
So
it's interesting you say that because I think a lot, even we're into the second weekend, I'm kind of already over the big buzz. I'm kind of
right. Yeah, exactly. Because, it got released so early to the private reviewers and critics and all that kind of stuff, right? So
on May 4th, Marvel kind of took a little spotlight away from Star Wars on Star Wars Day and released their first look at a Spider-Man action figure that's tied directly to the Civil War.
Yes.
So our first look at Spider-Man merchandise.
Right, Marvel Legends.
Yes. Yeah. It's a 3-pack, Battle Damage Iron Man, Battle Damage Cap, and Spider-Man.
Spider-Man with Cap shield.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you think of the look from it? We got 1 or 2 pictures of it.
Yeah,
right?
they're a little pixelated, eh? Yeah. It's kind of hard to find good quality, but the suit looks pretty cool. I like Spider-Man's suit a lot because I've always been a fan of the darker blue as opposed to like the bright light blue, so it looks good. The webbing, I noticed, it looks like it's embedded as opposed to painted on.
Nice.
Which is always cool. And Cap, I wish they did a little something different for Cap because, like what I mentioned to you off air, we were talking like this molding of Captain America they've had since Winter Soldier, and then Age of Ultron, and then we got it again for Civil War, and then we're getting it again for this other Civil War. Iron Man's looks really cool. I really like his battle damage. I can't wait to get my hands on this. I might buy 2 so I can also get the Amazing Spider-Man figure and kind of mix those 2 together. See what I can do because they're both embedded webbing. So, but yeah, it's great. I love the design of this costume for Spider-Man, and I can't wait to get my hands on it for the figure.
Yeah, so that's dropping in August. So we got a few months yet.
A few months to go.
Not exactly sure which retail stores it's going to land in, so I'm assuming Toys R Us and all that. So keep an eye out for that one.
Definitely.
We also got some other news in Spider-Man merchandise, so it's starting to trickle out here. And it's interesting that they waited this long to actually start to drop the Spider-Man. And that was, I guess, in the true form of keeping this a big secret. They also announced the first Spider-Man Funko Pop from Civil War, and he's holding the shield
again. There's an image?
Yeah, there's a full image in the box. So it's a 4-pack actually.
Okay.
Spider-Man holding the Cap shield, Hawkeye,
nice.
and then 2 little keychain Cap and Iron Man. It's a big 4-pack.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's a bit of confusion as to whether or not it's going to be a Collector's Core exclusive because Collector's Core tweeted it out. But it looks like it's going to be available at most retail shops, or local comic book shops and that. So keep an eye out for that. I think it's going to drop in June.
Nice. It's good that Hawkeye's getting some love because I feel like he's kind of hasn't had much marketing going behind this movie. And I'd love to see a figure. Is there legends of this Hawkeye? Or
no. Actually, no, sorry. There was an Amazon exclusive 4-pack for Age of Ultron.
Oh, okay.
So that had Hawkeye in it, I believe.
Right.
But not for Civil War, as far as I know, as far as Legends go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then the other thing is I'm into the Marvel Heroes 2016 video game, MMO, and they've actually released a cool costume pack for all the Avengers based off the Civil War line. So nice. I got my hands on Cap and Iron Man, and Spider-Man's coming out, I think, in the next patch. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. The last little bit of collecting news as far as Civil War, we got 1 more Lego set drop.
Nice.
So we had 3 previously. I managed to get my hands on all of them. The next one coming out has a Spider-Man minifigure in it.
Wow.
To the true form of the Civil War outfit or costume. There's a Hawkeye in there, and then a repack Vision and Cap. So it's a really small set. It's probably around $40 or so. And I think it's going to be an exclusive to the Lego store and 1 other retailer. It's either Toys R Us or a Walmart or something like that. Or Target maybe. But keep a lookout for that in the next couple of months. It looks pretty cool. Nice. So that'll just kind of fill out the minifigure collection with your Hawkeye. And so it's a new Hawkeye with the kind of the arm.
I really like that design too. Yeah, it's closer to the comics.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's cool to see that we're getting that last piece of Lego. It's just a truck too. It just supplements the airport. And so like the overall Legos for Civil War weren't great. There wasn't a big ship or anything like that. Yeah. And because the Marvel Cinematic Universe doesn't have kind of that variety of ships that say a Star Wars does.
Yeah, that's right.
They had the big helicarrier a few years ago, but I'm really just into collecting the minifigures in the different sets. There's nothing, you get kind of a repeat Quinjet, and you get, Avengers Mansion and a few other things, but nothing too spectacular like you get with bigger Star Wars sets, or even the Jurassic World set. Some of them were pretty cool.
Yeah, I bet.
But it's going to be nice to fill out that minifigure, because I've been looking for a cheap Spider-Man to get, just to kind of supplement that. And now that they have the design costume coming out, so excited.
Is there an airport kind of thing they've made to go?
Yeah, so they've just got like a tower. And then they had some kind of boxes, and this is just a fuel truck that supplements that. So it's one of those things that I have it out right now, but eventually I just pack it away with the other stuff and just keep the minifigures out. I like to put the minifigures in like a glass display case, like a shadow box. Cool. And have all stuck up on rows and put them on the wall.
It'd be cool if they had the water truck that Paul Rudd called out.
Yeah, well, they should have done that. I don't know what because this one has a big Roxxon sticker across the side of it, so it would have been cool if they had done something
one of those,
like that,
or the little beetle that they're driving around in.
As all this excitement kind of barrels forward for Civil War, one of its breakout characters, Black Panther, is getting a lot of news.
Oh, yeah.
So this movie isn't coming out until 2018, but we're getting casting news and big casting news.
Big time, right?
Yeah, so we got Michael B. Jordan and...
Lupita Nyong'o, I believe. I think that's the best I've ever said it. So.
That's amazing. I had to throw it to him because I was trying before. He would say it and I would say it and I'd just say it wrong. But those are two big actors. Huge. I'm so stoked that Michael B. Jordan's getting another shot at a comic book movie.
I can't wait. And the director
of Creed,
of Creed, Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the third time I believe he's worked with Michael B. from Creed and Fruitvale Station.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I love this. And he's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now.
I'm so stoked.
Which is awesome because Simon Kinberg came out saying he wants hopes or has hopes for Fantastic Four 2 and he loves the cast, but this kind of solidifies that bye-bye FF4. Yeah. You know, we've got Michael B. in the Marvel Cinematic
He's one of my favorite actors.
Right?
I love that guy.
Since Chronicle, I've been following this guy and he's awesome.
Too. He's me and my buddy Ahmed, we have this thing going back and forth where we only text back and forth Michael B. Jordan pictures. So we try to express ourselves through them. Like, you want to go out for a drink? We just send a picture of Michael B. Jordan with a beer, or sometimes I love it. Sometimes it'd be like bedtime or nap time. We just pictures of Michael B. Jordan, you know, or if we're at the gym, just Michael B. Jordan getting jacked up. So
that's awesome. That's great. So do you have any speculation on who he could be? Villain, good guy?
Yeah, well, I did a little research. So a lot of Black Panther I read has been the last couple of years. A lot of the Bendis era stuff more integrated into the Avengers.
Yeah.
And it's just recently reading kind of the Black Panther comic book that I'm kind of getting into the solo series.
Right.
But he's always been a favorite character of mine, although I have never read, you know, way back or kind of done any sort of digging in towards his solo comics.
Right.
But so I did a little research, and when we're talking about Michael B. Jordan, I was a little disappointed that it was a villain role that they're rumored to be, because I'm hoping it's not a one and done.
Exactly.
I'd like to see him continue and develop. He's very similar in age, I think, to
Chadwick.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman. So there's a couple characters. There's one called Eric Killmonger.
Yes.
So he's an exiled Wakandan.
Yeah.
So his father helped Ulysses Claw try to execute some plan within Wakanda to overthrow the king or whatever.
Right.
And then he was exiled, and he's always kind of pissed off that he was thrown out even though he didn't do anything.
Right.
And so he's kind of come back and tried to, you know, take over Wakanda, dethrone T'Challa.
Right.
I thought that was a cool concept.
That is really cool.
Kind of this exiled son sort of thing. And so you could have him as like a high-ranking family member or whatever, and then he's exiled out.
Yeah.
And then there's also this character called White Wolf.
Yes, the adopted brother, I think, of some sort.
So exactly. This adopted brother. So T'Chaka takes in White Wolf after his parents died in a plane crash or something like that.
I think so, yeah.
And then he becomes jealous because he wants the throne, and I believe he becomes the head of the Secret Service. And then T'Challa shuts that down.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they ever come to blows, but when I listen to that, or even the Eric Killmonger stuff, you could do a thing where you combine two characters, similar to how they did with Iron Man 2.
Whiplash, right.
Exactly, yeah. And so you could take like an adopted brother that gets exiled and then comes back, and you have this almost, when I listen to that, I hear like a Thor-Loki relationship.
Yes.
I think it would be really, really neat to develop something like that where Michael B. Jordan has a bigger presence in the overall arc of the Black Panther.
For sure.
So something that could last 2-3 movies, kind of like a Loki.
Yes.
Where you see him popping up and helping Thor a bit, and then you see him turning on him.
I would love that.
Sort of develop. That's what I like to see him do with that character. And so that we get kind of this prolonged, kind of larger presence of Michael B. Jordan in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Definitely. Yeah, I really like that.
What do you think?
I like American Panther.
Okay.
American Panther is pretty cool. He's obviously based out of America, but his backstory, from what I remember, basically I think his mother killed his dad, or at least is her doing, and then basically he grows up and feels like there's holes in the justice system. So he kind of becomes this hardcore vigilante and takes things a little further than what T'Challa would do. And they basically end up bumping heads. His costume's actually really cool. It's similar to T'Challa's very Marvel Cinematic Universe-like, where there's lots of padding, but it has mostly black, but some American flag stuff on there. He's a pretty cool, dark character, and I think him and T'Challa would go hand-to-hand, kind of like you mentioned before with the Loki kind of rivalry going on. So I think that'd be pretty cool. I think I also had White Wolf as well. And Man-Ape sounds funny, but Man-Ape's I guess he's one of his bigger rivals. Yeah, in the comic series. So that's roughly what I have. But my biggest thing is they just don't throw this character away. You know, I think Idris Elba is a wicked talent, and he's kind of a throwaway because he can only do so much in that role.
Exactly, as Heimdall, yeah.
Right. So I really hope they utilize Michael B. Jordan. He's a big up and coming actor, and he can only serve the universe better, right? So.
And his age and his presence on film, like I think, he could be a great through this whole Black Panther series.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't pop up in, say, an Avengers movie or whatever, but he would be a great presence to hold through in that movie. Exactly. The same thing with Lupita as well.
Oh, huge! So
and she's a fantastic actor. Like,
incredible Oscar winner, actually.
Yeah, exactly. For 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah.
Who do you think she could be playing?
It'd be cool if she could be T'Challa's sister, even, right? Like,
that's who
take my money.
That's who I had pegged her at.
Yeah.
You never want to break down a female's role simply to just the love interest.
Yeah.
I think, again, with a sister role,
man.
She could be, you could do a Loki Thor thing there as well.
Exactly.
And where you have her trying to, because she always wanted to be the queen of Wakanda.
Exactly.
And she wanted the throne.
Right.
And recently in the comics, she had a big presence where she actually was the queen of Wakanda.
Right. And she took the mantle of Black Panther.
Yeah, she took it, and she always wanted it, and she took it because I know T'Chaka through the comics never wanted really to have it.
Right.
And then she did take it on. Mm-hmm. And when we had the whole Namor invasions, that kind of what tipped the scale into her favor. Mm-hmm. And then eventually, spoilers for anyone that hasn't read the most recent, or the Hickman run, she eventually does die at the hands of Namor's cabal. Right. So again, this has implications that fell into the current Black Panther comic book. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I agree. She would be incredible in that role. She's got the physicality, the look,
the chops, the acting chops. Oh, she'd be incredible. So I really hope they do that.
Yeah, because there's some other female characters more love interest, but I don't really want to peg her as just the love interest. The Natalie Portman to Chris Hemsworth Thor.
Exactly.
Like, I think she has that potential to be so much more than just this damsel in distress.
For sure.
For sure.
And it's such a shame that we don't have the rights to X-Men, because could you imagine her as a Storm? Her and T'Challa, like, that'd just be incredible, right?
Because that's who I know as T'Challa's wife.
Exactly.
Storm.
During the Civil War story arc too, right?
And that was right up until AVX, they still had some interaction, so that was 2012. Mm-hmm. And so that wasn't too long ago that this whole thing was Storm, and that's when they kind of officially broke it off, and where they're on opposite sides here. And so that's who I knew as his queen for the longest time.
Right. Yeah.
But I think her sister is the way to go with it.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. So I'm definitely excited. I'm sure whatever they do, Marvel's pretty good with their casting choices. Yeah. So they're in good hands.
Exactly. And these are two brilliant ads.
Oh, yeah. And they're only getting better, right?
With a great director and the lead and the stuff we got in Civil War.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, this has to be moving to a lot of people's top of the list for 2018.
I can't wait. And, watching Creed, Ryan Coogler, he can shoot action. Like, the boxing scenes is just incredible. God knows what he can do with T'Challa now in this franchise. Right?
Yeah, with big money, the visual effects, and then the actors they've got in that already. Yeah, exactly. Like, those are three of my favorite actors right now.
Right.
All in one movie.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just put Michael Fassbender in there, and I'm sold.
All right, man, so quickly to wrap up some of this MCU news. Mm-hmm. Infinity War, we spoke a bit about it. Russo's, they're really pointing at this now. It starts filming in November.
Wow. Awesome.
So we're going to get stuff coming out of this probably in January or so. We're getting maybe some set photos, some early looks at things, some costume designs maybe, and then probably a trailer by the time Guardians of the Galaxy 2 rolls around. Yeah, maybe a teaser.
That line up pretty right, eh?
Yeah, so cool. We might be being a little hopeful there.
Yeah.
Because they're shooting them back to back. So it's got to be a year of shooting, which means that they have a lot of the story probably in place or getting close to it. Mm-hmm. And they're already talking about, the Russos did say that they are going to change the names. Yeah. So the Infinity War Part 1, Part 2 is just a placeholder.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on potential naming?
I couldn't really tell you. I really didn't think too much about the different titles. I really couldn't say. Marvel's, they're kind of tricky with their titles, right? Like, if you were to tell me that they're going to make Spider-Man called Homecoming, I would have never seen. I would have thought maybe like Young Avenger or something another, right? So their titles are pretty unique. You have any ideas?
I don't know if they're going to change both, because Avengers Infinity War, I like the title. That may be appropriate for Part 2. So just knocking the Part 2 off. And then doing like Avengers Thanos Quest.
Oh, yeah.
Or Avengers Infinity Gauntlet.
Right.
So something, or I don't know, because you don't want to do Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Infinity War Thanos Quest.
Yeah,
it's just too much. Exactly. I didn't want to say it, but yeah, it's just too much.
It is too much.
So I don't know if they're going to do an Infinity Gauntlet. It's a really cool title, and I love that because that's one of my favorite stories. But I don't know if a lot of people will get it. They'll be like, what's an Infinity Gauntlet? I really don't get this. Infinity War, even if you don't understand the Infinity part, you get the concept that it is a war.
Yeah.
And something Thanos Quest. If you don't know who Thanos is, and the word quest almost seems a bit more Lord of the Rings, sort of. Yeah. So I don't really know what they're going to do. I like Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, but they're trying to make them, I guess, two distinct movies.
Right.
That they're not kind of what Hunger Games did and a few others where they've
Harry
just
Potter.
cut a movie in half.
Exactly.
So a 4-hour movie or 4.5-hour movie, and they just cut it directly in half and said, here's part 1 this year, here's part 2 this year, we've made $1 billion off each.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like part 1's all set up, and then the other one's the conclusion, right?
Yeah,
so,
and Hunger Games really suffered from that.
They did. They actually lost them, because I was a big fan of part 1, part 2, and then I saw part 3, part 1. Didn't like it at all. It turned me completely off the franchise. I didn't even watch the last one.
Me neither. I haven't seen the last one for that exact reason. I was like, and I really like the books. Yeah. And I read right through them before the movie came out. And I know they're young reader or whatever, but I really enjoyed them. And maybe it's my simple mind. But I still haven't seen the last one. Neither is my wife. And my wife is a big fan of them too. We're just both so turned off by that movie.
Yeah, right? It's a letdown. You have any speculations of costumes? Because, going off of, without really getting into spoilers, going off of Civil War, I have a feeling there's big changes coming for the Avengers. Yeah. Do you see any costume changes, drastic changes for particularly Cap, Iron Man? Any speculation?
I don't know. I don't know if they go more the stealth mode for the Secret Avengers team that's coming out. And before we get to Infinity War, we're going to have the Ant-Man and Wasp movie, the Black Panther movie, and I'm hoping, maybe in the Black Panther movie we get Winter Soldier showing up. Right. Maybe. That would be cool, Feige was asked about that recently. Oh, okay. He was very cagey about it. Wow. It kind of seemed like they didn't really know what to do yet. And, could we see an Iron Man where we have... I would love to see, even if just for a couple of frames, a black Iron Man suit.
I was going to say the black and gold? Yeah. Yeah, I really want to see it. Just to change things up. We've seen red and yellow. Yeah. Give us the black and gold. Be pretty cool.
Yeah, I would love that. Just a nice, sleek stealth armor or something.
Definitely.
Oh, I could really dig that.
That'd be really cool. Or to see Cap even with, like, the... what kind of shield? The digital shield or whatever. That'd be kind of neat to see and give him like something more kind of reminiscent of his Winter Soldier.
That's a good point, because he doesn't have a shield anymore.
Exactly.
So where is he going to pop up next, and what's he going to have around his arm? Yeah. Are they going to have some sort of just going to say, oh, we have Vibranium Wakanda, we're here, so can we make another one?
Yeah, so I really hope they change it up though. I really want to see these introductions of new costumes and new paths for these heroes and where they're going to go. I think it'd be pretty cool. Yeah. And we get to see Captain Marvel too.
Oh, yeah.
Which I just can't wait. And her costume that they've redone in the comics the last 2-3 years, I think that'd really work in the cinematic universe. What they've got
definitely.
Going. Yeah, I think it's right out of it. So.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're pointing right at those. May 2018, May 2019. And the teaser that they showed at that when they released the full slate is still my favorite teaser of all time for a Marvel movie. Yeah. And even though it's shaky cam, there's a guy's head there, but I feel like every time I watch it, I'm in the crowd. Right. If you have an opportunity, just Google Infinity War teaser, and it was Marvel compiled the teaser that hooked me for Infinity War like 2 years ago. Yeah, I still go back and watch it. Nice. Even though on the Age of Ultron Blu-ray they have basically that. It's called the Infinite Six. Right. And it's basically the same kind of teaser. They've tweaked it a bit and they have much more description about what the Infinity Stones are. But I still go back to that one with the dude's head in the way because I feel like I'm in the crowd and everyone cheers and everyone goes bonkers. Just insane. Crazy. When you get around to the Infinity Gauntlet and Thanos closes it and then it just goes boom, Infinity War or Avengers Infinity War and it goes part 1, part 2 and people just go insane. Like I get goosebumps talking about it. Yeah. It's some stupid cam. Like it's not even like just the atmosphere.
Mind blowing, right? Yeah.
So another character that was quite prevalent in Civil War is Black Widow.
Yes.
There's been a lot of talk recently of why hasn't Black Widow got her solo movie? Yeah. And Feige basically committed to doing it. Wow. Out loud in whether it was one of these interviews, I'm not sure exactly where it came from. The internet somewhere. Would you be supportive of a Black Widow movie?
I don't. I kind of sell it. I don't really care for it. I mean, I really like Black Widow. I love what they've been doing with her. She's gotten better since Iron Man 2. Yeah. She's awesome. Even Iron Man 2, she was okay. But, was it Winter Soldier? She's incredible. And in this movie, she was great. But I think if they were going back to their one-shots, you could even tie up her origin in one of those one-shot kind of things. And I think she's stronger, her and Hawkeye, even more so her, when she's featured with other characters as opposed to a standalone. Like, I don't even really care to see a standalone Hulk or standalone Hawkeye or Black Widow because there's so many rich characters in this universe that we can explore. To give up a movie on Black Widow, we've already seen, 3, 4, 5 movies of her already? I think it's kind of a throwaway.
I completely agree. I'd like to see her have her own movie, but I'm really into this concept of duo movies or trio movies where it's her movie, say. Yeah. It's progressing her character, maybe revisiting her origins, but at the same time doing Hawkeyes or Winter Soldiers or something like that, where you're developing two characters, you're telling basically an origin story, as well as shoving these people through the overall cinematic arc as we go. And then even building on something else, building as part of the Secret Avengers or what have you, and kind of building into that idea instead of going back and being like, let's revisit the Red Room, let's revisit the torture scene, let's revisit the guy with a bag on the head. Yeah. We don't need any of that stuff. You can flash back to some of that, and some of that's explored in the Agent Carter series, as far as the Red Room, and there's some inference in Civil War about her knowing Winter Soldier, Bucky, before. Cool. Yeah. And so something like that I could see would work really well. Yeah. But I don't think Marvel can get away with established characters in their own solo outings anymore. No. It doesn't look like they're going that way. No. We're away from the Iron Man 3 type thing. So Thor's going to have Hulk in it. Civil War, a Cap movie with Civil War. And then going forward, I'm sure we're going to have some inclusion in the Black Panther movies. And maybe these new characters you can get away with doing solo outings like Doctor Strange. I'm sure there's not going to be really any inference towards the larger MCU. For sure. Until maybe you get towards the end. Yeah. But again, these established characters I think will work better as supplements to other movies or in their own movie with other characters joining them. Exactly. So Black Widow, Hawkeye thing I'd be really into. Yeah. Just maybe more of an espionage movie. Definitely. Yeah. I mean even Spider-Man's going to have a little bit of Iron Man in there. Exactly. I mean, he can clearly carry the movie by himself, but why not throw in Robert Downey Jr., right? Yeah. So. Great presence. Great presence. Definitely. So lastly with the MCU, smallest corner of the MCU, Agent Carter was canceled. Yeah. So now it holds the distinction of the first live-action Marvel show to be canceled. Yeah. And it's a bit unfortunate. Yeah. I never watched the show, but I did hear from the first place, I think it was only meant to be like a 10, 12 miniseries in the first place. So I'm not, I won't really miss it, but then again, I guess I never watched it. But at the same time, there's so much storytelling you can tell from the moments of her show to Civil War. There's so much storytelling. So... there's rumors that they could bring it to a Netflix series or something? Yeah, so I guess there's a fan petition out there to get to a Netflix series. I'd like to see them jump into the 70s, around the Ant-Man era. Switch it up a little bit. The Hank Pym era, kind of jump. Because you're wearing out a bit. I only watched the first season and half of the second season. I haven't quite finished it yet. And the first season is much stronger. Yeah. And I really like the character and the character of Edward Jarvis in there. Yeah. And Howard Stark pops in and out. And it's really good at progressing some of those storylines. But I felt like if they had now jumped 20 years in the future and have her in an established shield and kind of run with that, and maybe get like John Slattery to show up as old or something like that, or Hank Pym, maybe get Michael Douglas with just the face smash and then Michael Douglas. I don't know. That's not really that likely, but I think it'd be cool to do a different era. I like that, actually. That's a really good idea. Something like X-Men's doing is like each season is another 10 years in the future until eventually you run into the Avengers when Steve Rogers comes back. Yeah, I like that a lot. She's quite a bit older, right? Yeah. And so it's to change it up, because I think being a period piece, I really enjoyed that. And I really like that era, but that character, I just felt a bit worn out. We're still fighting Hydra. We're still doing this. Let's move on to something else. Let's move on to Cold War Russia. And maybe that develops through the second season. Right. I think I maybe not even half I've watched. I don't know. So you haven't wrapped up this season yet? No. Okay. And I know there's more stuff about the Red Room and that sort of concept, which relates into Winter Soldier and Black Widow. So I'm not heartbroken that's gone. Yeah. And she's a fan favorite, and she's a great presence in the film. But like going forward in the movies, she's not really going to have anything to do anymore. Like she's dead. Yeah, exactly. But you can't do any more with that character. Like, as finishing off the Cap series, it's probably the last time we'll see her in the cinematic universe. Definitely. Maybe she'll get name dropped when we're talking about Sharon Carter and that sort of thing, but I don't think we're going to see much of her. And so it's kind of a shame that character is going away. Yeah. But again, I would not be surprised if with enough fan influence and push that they end up with a 10-episode Netflix series. Yeah. And trying something different with a bigger budget, maybe shorten it to 7 episodes and take a larger budget and just go with it. So. You can kind of do more with the Netflix series too, right? With what we got going on with the Daredevil stuff too. So exactly. That'd be pretty cool. Exactly. Yeah, definitely. So it's time for our weekly segment that we like to call Star Wars News. Yes, always. So, big casting. Han Solo, young Han Solo. They did it. Yeah, finally. They pulled the trigger. So I guess they looked at over 2,000 applicants. Wow. Which is insane, when you think about that. Holy smokes. And they had it narrowed down to a few actors, and they selected this guy called Alden. Can't say his last name, but look it up on the internet. We're going to call him Alden from now on. Alden from All Hail Caesar. Yeah, exactly. So I looked this guy up when they announced it, and we had some back and forth on Twitter and that with us and a couple of the other guys. Yeah. And none of us knew who he was. No. I looked at his IMDb page. Yeah. Never seen any of his movies. No. And there's a couple in there maybe I should have seen. Yeah. Maybe I've heard good things about Hail Caesar. Yeah, I heard he's a standout in that movie. Yeah. And when I look at him, I'm kind of like, you don't really have to look. No, not at all. And I know you're hoping for Taron
Egerton.
Yeah, from Kingsman.
Yeah, I think he had the acting chops. I think he had the youth. I think he had the swagger. You know, I think that would have been pretty cool. But I've been looking more and more at this. What's his name again? Sorry,
we're gonna call him Alden.
I've been looking more at some of his photos, and like sometimes I kind of see it. I mean, it should be based on his full appearance, but at the same time, Harrison Ford, he's a huge thing to follow, right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, you know, but hey, he must have killed it in the audition, right? He must have showed them something that we don't know about.
He might, like, if they interviewed or auditioned that many people, then I guess, and boil it down to one guy, and it's not like they're just like, we're going to take that guy because he has star power. So they've taken someone that isn't like, we're just going to cast Tom Cruise in Youtham or whatever. I don't know. That makes no sense, but you kind of get my point in the sense that they're not just taking star power. Yeah. They're going to guy as a good actor. And that's the same thing they did in The Force Awakens, right? John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, Oscar Isaac. Yeah. Like, they took solid actors and put them into a Star Wars movie. They didn't rely on star power to bring people in. Yeah. And with the Star Wars name, you don't need to do that.
No,
with the Han Solo name. Yeah, exactly. So he's a bit older than I thought he was going to be. Because there's rumors and talks that, you know, is he going to appear in Rogue One? Yeah. But you're so close to New Hope that he needs to be basically Harrison Ford.
Exactly, which kind of confuses me, right? With the age there. If they do put him in Rogue One.
I don't think they can, because it'd be too weird. It's like, Rogue One, it's a prequel to A New Hope, but then Han Solo's looks completely different.
Exactly.
I don't know what you can do. I think you have to go back further. You have to go somewhere in between, like the Fall of the Republic and Rogue One, but kind of in the middle.
They should. Because, like, you know, I want them to give us the story of, like, you know, the life that Chewie owes him, or how he got the Millennium Falcon, right?
That's the way to go.
That's the way to go. Yeah.
And it's more depth with Jabba the Hutt or Boba Fett. You know, expand on those relationships as opposed to trying to tie into Rogue One or whatever they want to do. I don't think that's the way to go. I'm not too certain that they're actually going to do that. Yeah. But I think people are smart enough to be like, this doesn't make sense.
This doesn't match up.
These movies literally end on one on top of the other, and one starts. Yeah. And now we have... It's just too confusing.
It is too confusing. Do you think... Because, you know, you're a big Legends guy, you know... Wasn't Han's backstory before that he came from the Stormtroopers, like the Imperial? Wasn't he like an ex-Stormtrooper of some sort or something or other?
To be honest with you, I do not know.
Yeah. No, like they'd have to stick to that anyways, because they can do whatever they want now with the character. Right?
But he could, because he comes from Corellia, I believe.
Okay.
And he could be maybe enrolled in the academy for a while. Right. They could develop something like that. Yeah. Where he's an officer of some sort. I have no idea. Yeah. I've never really read a lot of backstories on Han Solo in particular. I've usually mostly gone in the Legends reading beyond Return of the Jedi. Yeah. So I don't know if they've explored it somewhere else. They probably have, and whatever you've heard, I'm sure it's probably correct. But I'm intrigued by it. Yeah. I can't say I'm super excited about the cast because I don't know the guy.
That's just it.
But maybe that's the best. I'd only ever seen John Boyega in Attack the Block, and he's awesome in that.
Yeah, it's cool.
And no one had ever seen Daisy Ridley in anything.
No, I think she's more of like a stage kind of
it's like, and she didn't have any, like, she had never, we go to her IMDb page, Star Wars The Force Awakens, it's her first credit. The biggest movie of all time, or one of the biggest movies of all time.
Right? Yeah, so, you know, because with this whole spiel about Han Solo casting, there's always this young Han Solo. They're going after a young Han Solo. So, doing so, then go for a young Han Solo. Yeah. Right? So, that'll be interesting. But you know what? Going off of this, and going off of what our Twitter, you, me, and Izzy, the whole crew, we saw this cool image of a young Mark Hamill next beside a Sebastian Stan. Now, that... to me screams like, you know, give me a Star Wars story featuring Sebastian Stan as Luke Skywalker set right after like Return of the Jedi or something, or after Shattered Empire. I would totally buy that.
That was nuts.
Oh, it's incredible.
I looked at that for a good 5 minutes. Yeah. And just being like, I can't tell if this has been heavily photoshopped. Like, of course they Photoshop on Luke's hair.
The hair, yeah.
But like, it was uncanny.
It's incredible. Yeah, he looked like Mark Hamill more than Mark Hamill looks like Mark Hamill.
He did.
Yeah.
It was insane. I couldn't believe that.
That was awesome.
That'd be really cool.
That'd be really cool. I don't know if they're going to do it, but I would totally buy that if they cast Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan, young Luke, at the end of Rogue One.
Right, yeah.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Sebastian Stan, to the biggest franchise of all time.
Yeah. So, pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's good. And building on the Han Solo, So we're getting a solo comic. So Marvel's pumping out a Han Solo #1. I believe it is at the end of June. We're going to get that. We'll be picking that up and checking it out. So it's, again, set in the same time frame. End of New Hope into Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay, cool. So a solo Han.
Yes.
Cool.
So it's exploring kind of just his forward story, I guess, a bit more, how he's changed since the events of the Battle of Yavin.
Cool.
And kind of going just kind of the swindler, smuggler, him and Chewie kind of duo story. So I think it'll be pretty fun.
Will it touch upon, because you've been reading the Star Wars comics, he has like some kind of wife of some sort?
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if they'll talk about her even in the movies now with his standalone,
yeah,
if it goes that far back.
That was a big revelation in the comics, that he had been married to this, and it was kind of like a fake marriage or whatever, but this woman, and it was quite funny watching her Leia struggle over all that.
Yeah.
It's actually quite a lot of fun in the comic books. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know if they're going to explore that, and because that's all canon, right?
Yeah.
And Lucasfilm is controlling that, so they're aware of this character.
Yeah.
So they may explore it a bit more, or that exact story as to why.
Yeah, interesting.
So stepping into the X universe.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of indication as far as X-Men Apocalypse and how it's doing.
Yeah.
It's taking a bit of a beating.
It really is. It really is. 43% I last looked at on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I'm going to have to stop looking at Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Because, as we expressed in the past in the podcast here, we're not overly, myself and Troy, are not overly excited about this movie.
Yeah.
It seems like just another entry of a movie we've already seen.
It really does.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
For me personally, the Wolverine scene got me in the theaters opening day.
Yeah.
As opposed to opening weekend.
Right.
So, I don't know. I'm not surprised, but I'm going to remain cautiously optimistic and go into it and hoping that I'm going to enjoy this next entry in the X franchise. Mm-hmm. Because beyond that, we got Wolverine 3.
Yes.
Which is Hugh Jackman's last outing. Mm-hmm. One more time, they got the middle claw with the one on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
One last time, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Yeah.
And they're taking this one to the extreme.
Yep.
So they're going rated R.
Mm-hmm. Patrick Stewart's been cast. It's coming back for this one. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's talk of this being a much more violent, much more brutal, and kind of having a Western feel to it, set potentially in the future.
Yeah. Old Man Logan.
Yeah, it sounds a little Old Man Loganish to me.
Yeah, sounds like it.
How his story will progress in the new timeline, post Days of Future Past. And he does come out of it seemingly to have the same revelation they had in the older movies, when he did wake up back in the new timeline, that he was kind of this good guy Logan. Mm-hmm. But in X-Men Apocalypse, I don't know if he's going to be like Berserker Logan.
Oh, yeah.
Or what's going to go on there. And then when we're going to get beyond that into kind of, again, Berserker Logan in an Old Man Logan story.
Right.
Because those movies are violent enough. Let's say the Wolverine.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of killing in there and no blood in that. Yeah. So taking it to the next level, is it going to be more just swearing, or is it going to be more blood, gore, and Wolverine just kicking ass, do you think?
I think it's going to be more blood, gore, but I don't really care for their rated R title, because fans have been asking for this forever, and they've yet to do it. And then now that the success of Deadpool, obviously they're writing off of that, they're piggybacking off the success of Deadpool, so they're going to be like, okay, well, let's give them the R rating. I think this gives us a good story. Just give us a good movie, which is easier said than done, because everybody sets out to make a good movie, and whether it does, it doesn't. So I hope they really think things through. It's the last one. I know every time Hugh Jackman puts in 100%, he's always trying to give you the best Wolverine. It's just up to the crew, the team, the studio to deliver. Yeah,
and I think he seems to be very invested in this. This being his last outing, imagine he's got a lot of influence. I wouldn't be surprised if he's producing it.
Yeah.
Has little control over the story and the direction of the character.
Yeah.
And Deadpool, I think, really worked rated R because of the humor.
Yeah.
If you have take the Wolverine, if you make that rated R and add in a lot of blood, a lot of gore, is that going to make it a better movie?
Well, not necessarily, because they released the director's cut, and it was cool. There's little things they threw in there from the trailer that we never saw in the original movie, but it didn't make it that much better. That movie was actually pretty solid, except for the last 20 minutes.
I agree.
It just fell through with Silver Samurai. Mm-hmm. So, the Wolverine I'd really like to see is more of like the kind of conservative one, the one from Old Man Logan, where he's kind of retired the Wolverine and he doesn't want to use violence anymore until Hawkeye and him go on this journey where he brings out the real Wolverine and he's forced to kill. So I like to see him kind of hold back and give some mature Wolverine that doesn't want to fight, and then stuff hits the fan and he's obviously back to
he's got to do that, because the Wolverine that developed over all these movies is a much more rational Wolverine. than we've seen in the comic books. And to jump to this berserker Wolverine without any real reason, and maybe they will give us a good reason. Like you said, it's about the story. Give us a good story, and if berserker Wolverine fits in there, by all means, go for it.
Definitely.
Go for it.
We'll see, though. When is that meant to be
that drops out March 3rd, 2017. So it's next year. So it's filming right now.
Yeah.
So again, we'll probably see a trailer sometime towards Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I really love that character. I love Hugh Jackman.
Absolutely.
I'm sad that he's not going to be continuing on. And because he's, again, like another presence like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Very similar. They're so invested. And again, Chris Evans with Captain America.
Yeah.
It's these guys are so entrenched and attached to this character. They don't want to give it up. I'm really surprised. Now, he's a 40-plus-year-old man who needs to work out for 6 months, 2 times a day, 6 days a week, and only eat chicken and that crap, right?
Yeah.
So I would love to do that.
Oh, yeah.
But I think you'd get tired of it after a while.
Absolutely.
And just keeping that physique has got to be damn impossible. You can't enjoy anything. Like, you can't enjoy beer, nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Even though Wolverine advertises like he does drink nothing but beer. You know, I really hope to, going off of like kind of the end credits, I believe, of X-Men or just Wolverine, the Wolverine. We saw the costume.
Yes.
I would really like to see the costume. He doesn't even have to have the mask, but just the costume would be kind of cool with the mask kind of like hanging out the back like a hood.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. I
think this is the time to do it.
It is.
It's his last outing. Let's get him in his costume for the last outing. He's never been in the proper Wolverine costume. Let's see it.
Let's see it, right? It's iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So swinging over to DC. A little bit of news. I promised I wasn't going to talk about Batman v Superman, and I'm not.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a bit about Justice League. So there's rumors going around about the villain for Justice League Part 1.
Yes.
Steppenwolf?
Yes.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, it rings a little bit of bells. Going back, you know, we talk about this every now and then with Genesis, the planet Genesis, which is the home of the New Gods. So you have Oran, who is like the good guy, who's the son of Darkseid or Darkseid, whichever one you want to use. Steppenwolf is the brother of Darkseid, basically.
Okay.
There was that little thing they released about a week after BVS, where we got to see that a longer extended version of Lex Luthor seen in that alien ship, and there's some kind of weird statue, I believe. If you put the comic Steppenwolf next to that guy, you can kind of see the resemblance. Except it's a little more demon-like. Steppenwolf is kind of human-looking with like this crazy Conan barbarian-looking kind of head attire going on. But this one looks like it's going more demon-like. So
is he the villain to bring the Justice League together? Do you think is he enough of a threat? Like, or is this something that Superman can go and punch in the face? I know he's dead. But I did the air quotes.
Yeah, I think it's kind of silly. I think it's, you know, I feel like it's kind of like they're twiddling their thumbs again. So they were invested in giving us Darkseid. We saw the whole Omega symbol, and now they're kind of like, oh, maybe we should treat this character more like Thanos, even though Thanos was written off of Darkseid. But now it's kind of like they're trying to hold on to this character and give us something else instead, like a villain of the week until we get to Darkseid. I don't really
like. It's like the
doing.
Preamble to Darkseid. Like, I'm here to take the world, and then my brother is injured.
Exactly.
Sort of thing.
Yeah. So I don't really like that idea so much. Yeah. How about you?
Well, not knowing the character very much, I am a bit hesitant. Like, now that you say that he's not really a formative villain for the Justice League themselves. We need something big.
Yeah.
Like, we had the Chitauri invasion of the Avengers that brought them together. And really, it was the death of Coulson and Loki, right?
Yeah.
And we need something that scale. Yeah. And because we're talking even more powerful metahumans or whatever they're called, compared to even the Avengers, where you had kind of Super Soldier, 2 spies, you had the Hulk and Thor. But this, we're talking about Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. And so now you're looking at, again, a next level villain to bring those people together. Because I feel like Doomsday might have even been a bigger threat than this. I don't know the characters at all.
Right.
But this kind of crazy beast that's out there just to kill, maim, and whatever, right? And so that worries me a bit, that you need something big to bring them together. Yeah. And if it's not this character, don't just bring in Darkseid. Yeah. And bring someone after. Exactly. Or his army after, or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. You need cannon fodder for them to punch, right? You need an Ultron bot. You need a Chitauri soldier. Yeah. And just those parademon things or whatever that were in the night.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring those in with Darkseid and have him sitting up with maybe Lieutenant. I don't know.
Yeah, it's silly. Like, even, going back to like the Teen Titans, they have bigger enemies than this guy. Like Trigon, who's the dad of Revan. That guy would be pretty cool. 6-eyed big demon, he'd be pretty cool. He'd be interesting. But I feel like this Steppenwolf is just like, first of all, he's not very well known, even amongst the comic audience, let alone to the general audience, right? So I think it's kind of silly what they're doing. Brainiac would be cool, but Brainiac is more of the Superman villain, but still a Justice League threat. So, yeah.
So now the DC fans hate me now for this episode. You're a big fan of the Flash Arrow TV universe.
Absolutely.
So it looks like Supergirl.
Yeah.
I almost said Wonder Woman. That almost came out of my mouth. Supergirl is moving to CW.
Yeah.
And so do you think they're going to try to integrate those universes?
Well, definitely, because they did a little crossover episode. Me and Baird were talking about this, Delayed Offside. We're talking about that episode. The CBS and CW, they're like sister companies anyways.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with CBS now, or with Supergirl now going from CBS to CW, it kind of worries me in a little way because it's a lower budget, right? It's going to be shot in Vancouver. I think there's a lot of special effects they used over at CBS.
Okay.
Whereas now we're going to see that probably cut in half. You're probably even going to see maybe even cast members leave, right? Because they can't afford that budget. So it'll be interesting, but it's cool. Like, I like this whole universe of we have Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow and now Supergirl. Mm-hmm. It'll just be interesting to see how they put her in their universe, because in Flash, she's in another universe. But
I was going to ask that. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, so Flash can go from dimension to dimension, universe to universe. But now they're going to have to kind of figure out a way how to make it so she lives on the same Earth with them. But the other thing that worries me too is, by doing so, how do you explain having this guy like Superman sitting there the whole time while you have Flash and Arrow dealing with these nuclear threats going off of Arrow Wednesday's episode? You know,
so they maybe have to bring her into the universe, because you want to integrate it, I'm assuming. So
yes.
I'm guessing because it went to CBS, the CW or whomever was designing that universe didn't have much faith in the product.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we don't really want this part of our universe. Nice cohesive thing we got going on, very popular.
Yeah.
And now with Legend of Tomorrow also getting renewed for a second season.
Yes.
So you're building that universe. And something that DC has done very, very well, much better than Marvel, is building this TV universe.
They really have, yeah.
And so now bringing her over, that's a good point, is do you bring her out of her universe and stick her in, and now you lose kind of all the characters that were in that show?
Yeah. Or
do you bring all, like, you maybe have to contrive some weird thing, get melding of the universes?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see, so I really don't know. I haven't really watched the show. I heard good things. I like the fact that they have Martian the Manhunter on there, which is something that the movie universe could take notes on. So, we'll see how that goes.
And DC continues to pump out different TV shows. So, I guess Krypton got a pilot order?
Yeah.
And so I guess that's going to be a couple of 100 years before. Or...
It takes place in Man of Steel, like the movie universe?
I don't think so,
okay.
But I want to say it's kind of like a Smallville-esque, but on Krypton. I have no idea.
Cool.
And I don't know if it's going to be focused around his grandfather or whomever his father.
Right. Kal-El or Jor-El.
Jor-El, yeah. I was thinking Kal-El, but I was like, someone's going to kill me if I say that.
Yeah, Jor-El.
Seems to me like an expensive TV show.
Yeah.
Big sets. You've kind of established like a very high-end CG sort of TV show.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'd really like it, because we're in a world of superhero TV shows and movies. I'd really like it if Krypton went the very hardcore sci-fi route. Make it like an exploration kind of show where you can have these guys exploring other planets and kind of checking out, like, here's Earth 100 years. You know what I mean? You could maybe even get some Green Lantern guys going in there too with crossing paths. So I
like that. Almost like a Star Trek Serenity sort of TV show where they're more exploring as opposed to just being on Krypton.
Exactly, fighting bad guys.
So they're always talking about those outposts and how they spread across the galaxy and colonize different planets and different areas. That would be cool.
That'd be kind of cool.
I would check that out.
Yeah, so that's something that would catch my interest. It'll just be interesting to see if this ties in with the... It's sci-fi, actually, you said, right?
I think it's sci-fi.
Okay. Yeah. So, that'd be kind of neat.
That's a good point. I never really thought about that. That's a good direction to go. Attaboy. So, last little bit of news here. And this is one of the things I cannot remember if we talked about on other podcasts or not. But I don't think so. Just working out the dates tonight is Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
So we were down at Alpha Comics.
Yes.
This guy put on a show.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah,
good job.
The first 45 people in line got these nice little grab bags that are full of comics.
That's awesome.
And some really good comics. There's an amazing Spider-Man cosplay.
Nice.
Cover that I got. And there's Howard the Duck #1, Deadpool #1. These are like great books.
That's awesome.
And so each person got like 4 or 5 books. and they had different prizes, and the atmosphere was great. Everyone's in there talking comics. And they had a table out that had a bunch of long boxes you could flip through while you're waiting in line to get in, because they're only letting a certain amount of people. Yeah. So bravo Alpha Comics out there in Calgary.
Yeah, good job. It's a cool way to keep that Calgary Expo energy going for another weekend, right? It's awesome. Some cool pickups. We got the Civil War. Yeah. What else was there?
The Cap.
And the Cap and the Dead No More. Yeah. Not crossover, but split kind of comic in there. So that was really, really cool.
It's nice to see them doing good stories. Like, they're not throwaway stories. Yeah. They're very small portions of a much larger story. The Thanos, I love seeing Thanos back in the Civil War too. Cool. Yeah, he's my favorite villain. Yeah. And it was a great little story. And I highly recommend, if you can get your hands on it, go check it out. I'm sure they have some leftovers. Again, if you go in there for Free Comic Book Day, Troy and I both did this, make sure you buy something while you're in there.
Yeah, definitely.
To bring people into the store, and this is for next year, and that is just support these guys a bit. Because like I said, they pay for these, and they give them to you. And down at Alpha Comics is giving away more comics.
And they put a lot of work into these events. Yeah, Holy
they got
smokes.
Like security guys out, and they got extra cashiers. Yeah. And they had deals on for Funko Pops and trades and all that. And you get that at most of your local comic book shops. But I'd have to give good praise to Alpha.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's a fun experience. And that Civil War comic, man, is really cool to see that action. Kind of going off a little tangent here, but the War Machine and Captain Marvel sequence, that's really cool. I really enjoyed that in that book. So great
and that stuff. Plays on stuff from there was the Captain Marvel series prior to Secret Wars, deals a little bit with their whole love interest.
Oh, okay. Because I really like that part, and then T'Challa's kind of turned around and just like, I love that.
Great. And that's always one of my favorite weeks of the year, because you get Free Comic Book Day on the first Saturday in May. Yeah. You get Star Wars Day usually in there somewhere.
So cool.
And you also, and from now on for the foreseeable future, you get a Marvel cinematic movie in there.
Right.
So all in 1 week.
Yeah, May's awesome.
So it's that first week of May is incredible. It's heavy on the wallet. Because I was down, my wife was down at the Disney store, and I talked before about what I was looking at, and she came home with a whole whack of stuff.
Oh, man.
So I just get my hands on the prototype Boba Fett.
So cool.
Yeah, really nice. Sculpt's awesome. It's the same sculpt as the Boba Fett, but it's all painted white, and even though they've reused the whole thing, I really like it. I think it's a cool little piece.
Absolutely.
I was thinking they're going to be quite limited. My wife said they had 80 per store.
Jeez.
And so the one that she went out sold out in 2 days. And I was over at another Disney store up in the northwest of Calgary here, and they still had a whole bunch left, 20 left.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I'm assuming they're going to be still pretty easy to get your hands on. So if you haven't got one, and you're not near a Disney store or whatever, ask a friend or ask someone to go grab you one, because do not pay $100. We went online after for a couple of other things. So there's this lithograph set. It was a limited edition 10,000. And so it's just pictures from The Force Awakens. It's nothing spectacular, but it's kind of cool to have, and it's like a limited edition. And that and the prototype were going for $200 each on Star Wars Day, on May 4th. So again, it's scalpers coming in, grabbing what they can, and going straight to eBay for those people that don't have access to a Disney store or access to, or don't want to pay, particularly here in Canada, don't want to pay the American exchange and all that. So there is places and there are ways to get your Elite Series or your lithograph set or whatever without paying scalpers. So again, and I know I've said it like 100 times, play the cooler. Do not pay scalpers, because it just drives the market that way.
Yeah, that's bogus.
Yeah, so it's cool. And there's this other nice little Stormtrooper helmet with some Boba Fett paintings on it that's pretty cool that I got here. And I didn't know that was even coming out. My wife showed back up at his home. It's like, I got all this stuff. I didn't know you can take it back if you don't want it. I was like, no, I want all of it.
Yeah, that's so cool. Nice.
So it was really good. Really good. So
May, what a hell of a month, eh? Awesome.
Best, already. I feel like May's been going on for 2 months now. Just all this stuff and so many announcements, and May is the kickoff to the summer blockbuster season.
Exactly.
And traditionally, this has always been the kickoff. Ever since, realistically, Jaws in 1975
going that far
was
back.
the first, I think that was June, but this was the first blockbuster. That defined the term and initiated this whole new genre of effects-driven big movies in the summer. And it was followed up 2 years later by Star Wars.
Wow.
Which, again, solidified this concept, this idea of the summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
And Spielberg and Lucas, two of the biggest proponents of bringing this to us. Yep. This idea. And these movies are, to a large part, kind of these massive effects-driven movies, that wooed audiences kind of right out the gates. Yeah. And they created this new genre. Yeah. And it's something that still exists today and something that I absolutely love. It's brought us movies like Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, Independence Day. And more recently, almost the entirety of the comic book slate is set in the summertime.
That's right.
Particularly the big ones. We always get the kickoff with the Marvel one at the start of the year.
Yep.
And in recent years, we've seen this whole blockbuster concept shift to more of a year-round thing. Winter or December's become a big portion of, you have the 3 biggest movies of all time sitting there: the Avatar, Titanic, and Force Awakens. Yeah. And so Star Wars itself was traditionally a May release, and now that's shifted back to December because they're killing it there.
Yep.
And we've seen Deadpool released in February.
Yeah.
They had a massive haul. It's the 3rd or 4th biggest movie of 2016 already. So that's huge. But for me, the summer blockbuster, going back to my youth, it's always been something that I eagerly anticipated.
Nice.
We didn't have the availability of trailers that we do right now, like with the internet and that.
YouTube.
All I ever got was you go to the movie theater and you'd be like, oh my God, there's another Jurassic Park movie coming out?
Right.
I had no idea. And then leading into that, you get some of the movie trailers. You get whatever you got on the VHS tape. So sometimes I'd spend hours rewinding and rewatching trailers. So cool. And this is kind of my first look at whatever YouTube would eventually turn into. Rewatching trailers 10, 20, 30 times. And then sometimes you get the odd TV spot if you just so happen to be watching the right TV show at the right time. And you get this flash. And I wasn't covering my eyes and plugging my ears trying to avoid it. I'm like trying to chew all this up.
Oh, yeah.
And it was something that I always loved, this whole idea, because it was something that I knew was going to happen. There's going to be a big movie. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
It's going to be something. And I take a lot of comfort in, just watching the White House blow up one year and watching a dinosaur eat a man off a toilet the next year, or kind of in reverse there, but it doesn't matter. It's I always love this idea of, in the summertime, you're hot, you can escape to a movie theater, AC, sit back and just disconnect for a couple hours. Always loved that idea. So cool. Right from when I was young, right through till now. I love a good summertime movie on a really hot day.
Definitely.
I was really too young to experience Indiana Jones, E.T., Jaws, even Star Wars as these first kind of preambles, these genre setting or genre developing movies as far as summer blockbusters. And right now I find myself kind of still chasing that nostalgia and projecting what I think people felt like when they were watching these movies. Because these are some of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, it's classics.
I'm chasing that sense of kind of childhood wonder. And I'm curious, what are some of your favorite summer blockbusters that you remember as a kid that you kind of go back and revisit sometimes to get that sense, to get that summer blockbuster feel, that effects-driven movie?
Yeah. Some of them that I can jot down here. Let's see. Spider-Man 2. Yes. Spider-Man 2 in theaters. Man, that was huge. We're getting like a first time we've seen a really cool fight scene between Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man. He's wall crawling. He's webbing all over the place. That was really cool. So big ups to Sam Raimi for that experience. That was so cool. Another one that I really liked, this was a little different, was a Goofy movie. Yeah? I was pretty young then. Goofy movie was a really cool animated experience. That was the first time when I actually looked at an animated movie and I could literally tell the difference between the animation between the movie and a TV series animation. Because there's also the Goof Troop going on back then too. But seeing the animation production on a Goofy movie was just incredible, and it's all dealing about summertime, how they can't wait for the summer. So, it's so cool seeing that movie when you just want to get off school yourself, and you're experiencing this high school kid trying to get out of school. So that was really cool. And what was my other one that I really, really enjoyed? Oh, Star Wars Episode 3.
Yeah.
Oh, man, 2003 or 5? Yeah, 2005. Yeah. 2005, I saw that at Eau Claire Market. It's pretty much sold out everywhere else. I got in there, saw it with a good bunch of my buddies, and I got that thing on my DVD, actually VHS even, and I watched it I think 11 times that week. I destroyed that movie, I drank the Kool-Aid on that one, you could say. I mean, going back to it now, I know it wasn't the best movie. But you know what? I still appreciate for what it is, and I still think it's the strongest one out of all the other prequels.
Yeah.
So
those summer blockbuster movies, and I liked your point there about you're out of school, right?
Yeah.
And that's when the season starts, is you're out of school. Yes, I can go see a movie whenever I want.
Yeah.
If I was a kid in the middle of the day, let's go see a movie.
Yeah.
And for me, The Lost World Jurassic Park was the first movie I remember being hugely excited for in theaters. I was old enough to understand the concept. I loved Jurassic Park. I wasn't old enough to see it in the theaters at the time. It was only 8 or whatever when it came out.
Yeah.
This came out 5 years after that, so I was quite a bit older. And that was the first time I went hunting out looking for trailers. So I remember flipping through TV stations, hoping to land on a trailer. And there's a very specific scene, this really weird memory that sticks in my head. So there's a part in The Lost World where one of the characters is attacked by the little compies, like the little dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't get the idea yet that sequels didn't necessarily always have the same characters in them.
Yeah.
And so there's a point where these little compies, these little dinosaurs swarm a guy, and I thought it was Alan Grant.
Oh.
And I was really upset that Alan Grant was being attacked by dinosaurs and likely dying.
Yeah.
And that sticks out. I remember sitting in my parents' bedroom on their like 10-inch TV watching this and just being mesmerized.
Oh, man.
And that was the first time I experienced this anticipation for a summer blockbuster movie. So some of my big ones were Armageddon and Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, Armageddon,
yeah. It's in 98, both of them.
Oh,
so those are two big ones.
Yeah, Bruce Willis, eh?
Yeah. Men in Black.
Men in Black,
97.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. And again, with Armageddon, I know it's a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
It's still one of my
favorite Michael Bay movie.
Guilty pleasure movie.
I love that.
That and The Rock.
That's so cool. The scene when the oil spill.
Yeah. That's so good.
Yeah.
And then again, Star Wars Episode 1.
Oh, yeah.
So this is, again, I didn't get into Star Wars until they were re-released in 97. Mm-hmm. So I started to build my love. And Episode 1, I didn't go and wait in lines or anything like that. But it was my first kind of exposure to the atmosphere around a Star Wars movie. And then it was Episode 3, like you said. That was the first movie I ever pre-bought tickets for.
Oh, nice.
I went in like 2 or 3 weeks in advance, made sure I had my tickets at hand.
That's awesome.
Had them stuck up on my wall.
Nice.
And every day I saw them, I was like, okay, I'm coming for you.
So
Episode
cool.
3. And again, at that time, at the age that the both of us were, they were good. Like, I know people might bash them and all that, and I'm not going to sit here and rip them apart or anything, but I remember those experiences, and maybe the movie, again, isn't as strong as some of the other entries, but again, I go back to the experience that came with it.
Exactly.
Pre-buying tickets, the excitement, and I agree, it is the best of the prequels.
For sure.
But like I said, I'm always chasing this idea, this sense of childhood wonder when I sit down in a movie theater.
Yeah.
And it's the summer blockbusters that usually give that to you.
Yeah. Especially with that movie at that time, as far as we knew, that's the last Star Wars movie we're ever going to see.
Exactly.
We finally get to see the transition from Anakin to Vader. We got a good lightsaber battle. I still liked the score was cool.
That was one of the best lightsaber battle. Like that was so well choreographed.
That's incredible. On Mustafar, awesome.
We spend a lot of time talking about comic book movies in particular, so I thought it'd be kind of fun if we talked a bit about movies that we're looking forward to, if any, in this year's summer slate of movies. So I'm talking kind of May to August here.
Cool.
And so we'll push away the comic book movies for a little while here. We'll just talk a bit about the other movies and just see if studios are capturing that summer blockbuster feel, or if they've relinquished that all and left it to the comic book movies. Because they've seemingly taken the places of your Independence Days, your big kind of Men in Black, your sci-fi thrillers.
Bad Boys 2.
Exactly. They've taken that place, and they're sitting on this pedestal now as the big movies. So you remove those, and what's left? I think that's what we should talk about to see if there's anything out there that we're actually excited for that captures that same sort of nostalgic feeling that we're chasing in these summer blockbuster movies, something that to get away from just the everyday and not be a comic book movie.
For sure.
So May. So we just had Civil War, which is the official kickoff. That first week of May is traditionally. I know we step back into April with Batman vs Superman, but that first week of May is tradition. That's usually the Star Wars slot, and it's now the Marvel slot, but that's the unofficial or official kickoff of the summer movie season. And coming up here in the next few days, we've got The Nice Guys.
Okay,
Gosling.
Yeah, I'm a big Gosling fan. I really like Gosling. How to forget his name? Russell Crowe. Yeah. He's pretty cool. He's a lot better when he's not singing. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, this doesn't give the big feel. We got Angry Birds coming out the same weekend.
Yeah, for the kids, the family, I think it'll be kind of the Lego movie, the answer to the Lego movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Then you got Neighbors 2, Sorority Rising.
Yeah, I like the first. Did you see the first one?
Yeah, I liked
it. It was pretty funny.
Yeah,
it was really funny.
Yeah, Zac Efron, I quite like as a comedic actor.
Yeah.
And he's doing some good stuff on the new Baywatch movie, I guess, with Chris Rock.
Right.
Or Chris Rock.
Or
with The Rock.
With The Rock, yeah, The Rock's in there, and I think Pamela Anderson's making an appearance in there too.
And David Hasselhoff.
Yes.
So that's coming out next summer, so that'll be something to look forward to. But again, this seems like a rent to me. I'm not going to take my time and go to the movie theater and pay $18 to go see this. But again, it was a fun movie the first go around.
It really was.
It looks like it's a repeat of the script and of the same story. Just like, how can we contrive a reason to get Zac Efron and Seth Rogen back together in the same house doing very similar antics And I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Definitely.
But again, it doesn't really fit this bill of a summer blockbuster.
No.
So you do get comedies interspersed throughout the season.
That's right.
And there's usually some of your best comedies. Like, I think Knocked Up was in there and there's some other stuff that usually comes out. And there's one coming out in June that I'm super excited for.
Oh, yeah?
We'll get to here in a little bit. Coming out opposite of X-Men Apocalypse, which I did not realize, is Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Oh, wow.
And when we saw the trailer attached to Civil War, in my mind I was like, I guess because I haven't really been paying attention that much to the Alice in Wonderland sequel.
Yeah.
I just assumed it was coming out in September or something.
Yeah, not that soon.
I didn't realize it was coming out in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
So this, again, is playing off of this concept of Disney going back and doing live-action remakes of childhood fairy tales or whatever that they did way back when. And looking at this, I'm not that excited, but the Alice in Wonderland was like $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
So this, again, sets, and it's heavily effects driven. And this kind of starts to give you the idea and concept and tone of what it would be considered a traditional summer blockbuster movie. I still don't see it. Like, I'm picturing like disaster effects driven movies as blockbusters. This, again, to me, doesn't fit that bill. But do you think this thing will have the running room, opposed to X-Men Apocalypse, to do another $1 billion to add to that domestic haul that Disney has? Does this have the strength?
I mean, it'll appeal to the kids. They have a decent amount of actors that have the name recognition amongst the parents.
Johnny Depp, I guess.
Yeah, and Tim Burton's wife, I forgot her name.
Helen Botna Carter.
Yeah, but when we saw this trailer, the trailer wasn't horrible, but Tim Burton didn't sell it for me at all. It was like he's just reading cue cards, and I was kind of like, I could have done without you in the trailer.
Oh yeah, I forgot he did that preamble thing. That was weird.
That was really weird, right? But I don't think of it as a big blockbuster movie, but it might work.
These ones continue to surprise me, like Cinderella, The Jungle Book, which I heard is incredible.
I heard it's great. Maleficent.
Yeah, these ones, I had predicted Maleficent, whenever it came out a year or two ago, to be a giant flop.
Yeah.
This thing goes and makes like hundreds of millions of dollars in movies.
Incredible.
Or $100 million movies. Money. And they continue to surprise these live action remakes. I don't think they're going to do well, and they do gangbusters at the box office. They do.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're doing an Aladdin. I think they're doing another Peter Pan.
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, which has a pretty good cast. And Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Which terrifies me, because seeing Ursula in real life,
how are you gonna pull that off?
Oh, that just terrifies me. Me and Courtney, my fiance, go over and over about this, and that, if anything scares anything out of me, it's seeing a real life Ursula. So.
Yeah, and I guess you have to get around kind of mermaids and all that.
Yeah,
and it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
These movies, I'm not sure exactly when all these live action movies come out, but they're usually kind of interspersed, usually 1 or 2 a year within that summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't give me that same feel.
No,
I don't. When I look at these, maybe it's just because of the type of movies I like.
Right.
I'm looking for a Close Encounters, which came out, I think, in November or something. But it's that type of movie, like E.T.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jaws.
Yeah. Just blockbusters, right?
So June, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I guess technically is the comic book
for sure.
movie.
Yeah, technically.
But again, fits the bill of a summer blockbuster.
Definitely.
We have kind of the Michael Bay sort of world that he's created, this explosions and very effects driven. So this kind of fits the bill, and he's had some good previous summer blockbusters, and like I said before, Armageddon, Bad Boys 2,
Transformers.
Exactly.
That's big money.
That is big money, and kind of more or less the present day outside of comic books quintessential summer blockbuster, right?
Right.
These things make $1 billion, no matter the quality or whatever. It's all about the effects and the explosions and
the merchandise that this thing brings in too.
Exactly.
So.
Coming out the following week, Warcraft. I'm not a big video game player. I've never played World of Warcraft. I don't understand the concept behind it, the orcs and all that. I look at it, and maybe it's just because I just say flop. Like, this thing looks like it cost a ton of money to make. And it doesn't look like it's going to bring in the crowds that say maybe an Alice in Wonderland would bring in, that even a Civil War or Batman versus... You're going to get parts of those crowds, but are families going to go and see Warcraft?
No, and the thing is, it's a video game movie. Video game movies don't do well. Like, Assassin's Creed is coming out.
What did you think of that trailer?
For Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
And it's Fassbender's in there. He's your boy.
Yeah, I know. Fassbender's my guy. That guy's money. But this trailer wasn't doing for it. But maybe it's because I'm just not a fan of the property. I'm a big video game guy. I don't like Assassin's Creed, so don't kill me out there. I don't like Assassin's Creed. I've never really gone into World of Warcraft or just Warcraft. I don't know. It looks heavy on the CG.
Big time. Yeah. And there's different clans of orcs, and we're stepping into this Lord of the Rings looking world. I always find those a bit complicated. Like, I really love Lord of the Rings, and the Hobbits didn't really do it for me. I don't see myself going to the movies to watch this.
No, I don't. And who's this? Who's the audience for this? Because you can't just rely on the video gamers, you know?
No.
So our parents are going to go see this, and little kids aren't really going to go see this.
No, you're going to bring in the lovers of the genre, maybe. This more Lord of the Rings-esque type people.
Yeah.
If you get good word of mouth, I haven't heard really anything about it.
No.
You might get other people filtering in, but you're not really going to hook the big crowd, the big base you need probably to propel this thing into a franchise like they want.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not going to go see this. I'll tell you that right now.
No, it might be a Netflix kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But coming out opposite that is Now You See Me Too.
Yes.
So have you seen the original?
No.
It's actually quite good. Yeah. I enjoyed it. It's got Jesse Eisenberg in it, Woody Harrelson, Dave Franco. So it's got a really good cast.
And they're bringing somebody else into the fold in this one.
I can't remember her name, but she's quite funny.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the other actress isn't coming back for it, and they're replacing her with another actress.
Right.
And I feel like a real dick for not knowing either of the actresses' names, but rattling off the males. Yeah. I'm not really a misogynist or anything like that. I just can't remember the names. But it's sitting on the tip of my tongue. If I remember, I will say it. But yeah, she's hilarious.
Cool.
And it looks like it's going to be a good comedy, and the effects in it were really cool. Yeah. Again, I don't know if I'd go sit in a movie theater. It's a nice Netflix or maybe a Apple rental on one of those evenings where you're like, I don't really know what to do. I've seen Now You See Me. Maybe Now You See Me Too would be good.
Right.
It looks like it has that caliber. For me, it's a rent.
Yeah.
You know, when we talk through this, we're already kind of halfway through June here. I'm not really feeling like there's a summer blockbuster. There's one movie I'm thinking in particular that I'm really excited for to capture that nostalgia.
Yeah.
But again, I'm a little worried that because the comic book movies have come in and more or less taken that spot, when you remove them, you get down to the bare bones of the movies, there's not a lot there that I'm super excited for.
Yeah.
But let's bump through the rest of this list here. So, Finding Dory, a sequel years in the making.
Years in the making, right?
And it's funny because my wife watches Ellen, and so once in a while it's on, and my daughter quite likes it too. She likes dancing with Ellen. But she's been pumping this movie for what seems like 3-4 years.
Yeah, at least.
Coming out. But this is going to do huge.
It's going to be massive, right?
And this was what I would consider a summer animated blockbuster.
For sure.
There was always one of those when I was a kid. There was a big summer animated movie that we had to go check out.
Definitely.
And this, again, for Disney, is going to do huge money. Pixar has just such a great track record.
Oh, yeah.
This is something that if my daughter was a little older, I would love to take her to. I really look forward to that day when she's a little older and understands and can sit in a movie theater for 2 hours.
Yes. Going
to these movies because I thoroughly enjoy them.
Yeah.
And I find because always got so much going on and we don't take the time to watch those movies anymore, we just watch Inside Out and I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
It just had so much adult satirical humor in it that goes right over the kids' heads.
Yeah.
And it's kind of built in for audiences like us that have young kids that want to see these, but also the fact that we're going to sit there and enjoy it. And so I really appreciate that with Pixar. So I would pick this as kind of looking through this list, the first big summer blockbuster movie that I would consider on this list so far. And that's, we're sitting, when you take out the comic book movies, that is, when we're sitting in the middle of June here.
That's going to be a big one.
Yeah, and coming opposite that also is Central Intelligence, which is the Kevin Hart
and The Rock.
Yeah. I'm super excited for this.
I saw the trailer, seeing Civil War for the second time.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for that one.
It looks hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm super... This will probably be one of the first comedies that I'm going to go see in theaters in quite some time.
Nice.
I love everything The Rock does.
Yeah.
Not only from his movies, but to social media presence.
Oh, man. And so charismatic.
He is. And he must. I'm not trying to discredit him or anything, but he must have someone that writes his inspirational quotes from. Because every day on Instagram I read, I'm like, I feel so much more inspired. Right? I'm like, how does this guy have time to lift millions of pounds of weights, go act for 12 hours, and then write the most inspirational quotes? I want this guy to write a book and shove all these into it. I just read a page a day. I feel so much better about everything.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to get out there and support him. And does it fit the bill? Maybe, maybe not. But at the same time, it's going to be one of these movies that you can go into on, like I said, a hot day, sit down, laugh for 2 hours, have a good time, come out and just enjoy.
Yeah, I'm totally looking forward to that one.
The one coming out at the end of June here, and this is the one that I know it's probably not going to be a stellar movie, but it's going to rekindle a lot of that idea for me of a summer blockbuster.
Oh, yeah.
That's Independence Day resurgence.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So it drops on June 24th. A lot of the same cast returning.
Yeah.
Got Liam Hemsworth joining. A few other good actors in there. And I'm super pumped for it. The trailers look ridiculous. The destruction looks like just so epic.
Yeah.
It's like I said at the top here, Independence Day was one of those ones it came out in 94, I think.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I was a little young to see it in theaters, but I remember seeing it after and just being like, this is incredible. That's one of my favorite movies.
That's cool.
Going back to that. I feel like I have like 1,000 favorite movies, but it was so good. I love Will Smith in it.
Yeah.
And what's his name?
The president, the one that plays the president, or the scientist?
Scientist.
Oh shoot! From Jurassic
Ian
Park.
Malcolm.
Yeah.
What the hell's his name? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. See, I forget male names too. But they're all back.
Yeah.
The president's back, and I think it's just going to be a lot of fun.
It looks like a lot of fun.
This is, to me, what you want in a summer blockbuster. It's, again, is it going to do $1 billion? Probably not.
Right.
But that doesn't matter. It's about the concept of this effects-driven movie, and it's a lot of fun, and you can escape just for 2 hours. And sometimes you have to go into a movie and just turn your brain off.
Exactly.
You cannot think about every single plot thread in detail.
Exactly. Whether it's the editing or the acting, the cinematography, you just got to let it go and just absorb the movie for what it is, right?
That seems a bit counterintuitive to some of the stuff that we do on the podcast when we review movies, as far as turning your brain off. But again, I think this is a very different type of movie from some of the other movies that we've reviewed on here.
Yeah.
It has a specific goal of just letting you have fun, seeing ridiculous destruction. It's like CGI porn, destruction porn, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what this is going to be. I'm super, super stoked for this.
Can't wait for that one.
No, it's going to be good. Okay, rolling into July, which growing up was always the month when you had the biggest movies. I always saw July as the movie that hosted your major blockbusters. And a lot of the times it was Will Smith movies.
No kidding, right? Yeah.
That came out around Independence Day or American Independence Day.
Yeah.
When I see July, I'm always expecting to see the biggest movies. And now that's changed a lot recently, within the last 10 years or so. But this year, this is probably where we have the concentration of some of the biggest movies in the summer blockbuster movie slate outside of the comic book movies. So we're just kicking off with Legend of Tarzan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like Tarzan, the mythos, but this one isn't really doing it for me. I kind of like the idea where it's like he's already been Tarzan, he's now lives in London, and he's coming back to the jungle, which is kind of a cool concept, but
I feel like this is just so worn out.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we've had numerous of these similar type movies in the past 10 years or so.
Yeah.
The actor is enormous. Shaq. The CG looks great with the apes.
Yeah.
And some of the fight sequences are probably going to be pretty good.
And we got Margot Robbie in there.
And what's his name from all the Tarantino movies?
Oh, yeah. How to forget his name? Christoph Waltz.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he'll bring a great presence. And again, it could be a surprise breakout.
Yeah.
But again, it's something I'm probably going to visit later on.
Yeah.
It's not really my type of movie right now. Yeah, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we have Spielberg. Now, Spielberg, one of the, what I'd call the co-creators of the summer blockbuster genre.
Huge.
He's got this movie called the BFG.
The book, the kids' book.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I don't know much about it. I've never read the kids' book or anything like that. I'm sure at some point along the line I will get to it with my daughter.
For sure.
But I guess it centers around a young girl that finds this kind of gentle and charming giant.
Yeah.
Big friendly giant.
Big friendly giant, yeah.
So I guess the whole story develops in there. Sees the world in a different way. And being that it's a Spielberg movie, I don't know. I feel like I'm such a downer right now. I'm just not excited for some of these movies.
I know.
And I've seen the trailer, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are super excited for this that have some connection to the book. And I have all the faith in the world of Steven Spielberg adapting this into something that's going to look spectacular, as well as tell a good story.
Yeah.
And so you get that aspect of it. And so him alone intrigues me. And you have the guy that just won the Oscar for Bridge of Spies. Best supporting.
Oh, Mark. It's Mark something or other.
Rayland?
Yeah, that sounds about right. But I know his first name's Mark.
Yeah.
It's not Ruffalo.
We're having a really hard time with names this episode. But it looks to be good.
Yeah.
And the following week got Ghostbusters.
Yeah, how did I forget about that one?
Which I'm excited for.
Yeah.
It has a special place in my heart because it's
cool.
one of the movies that my dad and I really bonded over when I was a kid.
Nice.
I had all the toys.
Oh, you had to.
Yeah, I had the big tower and the Echo.
Nice. And the car.
Yeah,
all the characters. And the backpack.
Slimer. I got Slimer sitting around here somewhere.
Oh, man, that was so cool.
And I remember going as a Ghostbuster for Halloween and all that. So people are really upset about how the trailer turned out.
Yeah.
And I agreed, and I said that I wasn't a big fan of the trailer, how they cut it.
Yeah.
It was a bit deceiving.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. It's the same universe as a reboot. What
yeah.
is it? The ladies that are in it, they're fantastic.
Oh, yeah,
I love
definitely.
Melissa McCarthy. Paul Feig, it's directing it.
Yeah.
It's in a lot of good comedy movies like Bridesmaids and a few others. And so I'm going to check this one out.
Definitely.
I think a lot of nostalgia is going to bring me into this. I'm home over this period in time, so my dad and I are going to go check this out.
Nice.
Just for a throwback and just to experience it together.
Yeah.
And so again, that's another big thing is who you experience these movies with.
For sure.
And my dad in particular was someone that I went to a lot of these movies with, and he wanted to go see these. And this is something that we always got excited for growing up, is let's go check out the next big summer blockbuster movie. So he took me to the Jurassic World. He took me
Lost World?
He took me to the Lost World. So I had a lot of fun there, and that was another fond memory, is going back and reliving some of this stuff with my dad, and the fact that I get to go check Ghostbusters out with him, something that, again, we have an attachment to together, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun for me.
That's so cool.
Then we move into Star Trek Beyond.
Oh, yeah.
Star Trek 3.
Yeah.
In the absence of J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. I love the first one.
First one was great.
First one was really cool. I think the second one wasn't bad. I think it got a lot of hate, actually. But I don't think it was as bad as people made it out to be. It just wasn't as strong as the first one.
No, I like the cast. They're all great.
Oh, yeah.
The trailer that they chopped to make it look like Guardians of the Galaxy just really undersold it for me.
Yeah, it really did.
And I feel like they've gone a direction trying to capture something in the moment that really doesn't fit the Star Trek universe.
Exactly.
J.J. Abrams set that universe up, and I really liked what they did with the timeline.
Yeah.
They didn't erase anything.
Exactly.
It just basically spurred off, and it's a new timeline.
It's its own universe, right?
Yeah, so it allows you to explore different stories without erasing the past. So it's like, without going the route that Star Wars went by essentially deleting or removing all the Legends series.
Yeah.
And they had a reason to do that, I guess, so they didn't overlap with anything or have to feel themselves compelled to be bound to continuity.
Yeah.
But the way that they did this and leaving everything else intact, as someone that really likes continuity, that was really cool.
Exactly. I thought it was so cool because it's no longer constrained to its previous universe, right?
Yeah, but you don't delete anything.
Exactly.
You still have all that. You can go back and revisit. Because my cousin was a huge Next Generation fan.
Cool.
And, I have friends that are really, really into Star Trek. And having that spur off, that timeline, and this continue through to Star Trek Beyond, I'm going to close out this series.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and watch probably 1 and 2 before I experience 3. Whether or not that's in the theater is another question.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'd like to close this out and see an end to this. But at the same time, I really don't see them ending this series. I see this continuing through.
No. And there's talks that might come back to TV now, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It should be interesting.
Well, Star Trek's been around forever.
Oh, yeah. Long time, right?
They called it the series that wouldn't die.
Yeah.
They tried to cancel. They tried to can, and the fans kept bringing it. And this is another one that has like a rabid fan base, right?
Oh, yeah.
And maybe not particularly these movies, but the whole Star Trek idea and this idea of the Trek conventions.
Oh, yeah.
Because my cousin used to go to them, so I had kind of experience as a young child to what was going on, kind of at far proximity. But it kind of was one of the first experiences I had with someone that was really invested in something. He had all this Next Generation action figures. It was really cool.
That is neat. Yeah.
And I've grown up to be a man-child myself. So maybe the latest entry into the Bourne franchise, revisiting the Jason Bourne series. So this movie is called Jason Bourne, moving away from kind of the Bourne Ultimatum, Bourne Supremacy, all that sort of titling. And again, the trailer looks great. Matt Damon looks awesome.
Yeah.
That's the title character again.
Yeah.
Seemingly moved away from the Jeremy Renner.
Poor guy, though, too, hey? Because this guy was meant to get the keys to the Mission Impossible franchise, and then Tom Cruise just got better, so went back to him, and then same with the Bourne franchise, and then now it's gone right back to Matt Damon again. So
I guess he's stuck with Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah. And Hawkeye.
Yeah. He's a really good Hawkeye.
Yeah.
He's a really nice presence in that movie.
Yeah.
In Civil War.
Yeah.
I really liked the franchise, and I liked what they did for the genre of that type of film. And I feel like movies like The Winter Soldier really benefited from that initial Jason Bourne sort of style.
Sure.
That quick cut, that fighting style, kind of using what's around you to beat the shit out of people.
Yeah, so cool.
And so, again, that was another step. So I believe the first Bourne came out in the summer, so it kind of fit this bill of a summer blockbuster. And again, this is continuing on with that trend.
Nice.
And it looks like it's going to be, again, revisiting and reinvigorating this franchise and going back to its roots.
Nice.
I felt that the second and third one weren't nearly as strong as the first one.
Right.
And even this reboot, I didn't mind it because it was kind of interfingered with the other Bourne movie. I think it was happening at the same time as 3 or at the same time as 2.
Cool.
So it was kind of neat how they integrated that. looking at July as a whole, there's a lot of big movies there. And I think this, roughly, maybe not for me as far as a nostalgic standpoint, but this fits the bill as a big summer blockbuster month.
Yeah, this is something for everybody, basically.
Exactly.
Here.
Yeah. I wonder how many times I've said summer blockbuster in this podcast so far. I'm going to stop saying it. As we move into the last month here in the slate of movies, we have Pete's Dragon, which is a remake from a 1977 film.
Oh,
I don't know if you've ever seen it. I used to play on the Wonderful World of Disney when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I've seen it a couple times on there. And it's just kind of this cool integration of the animation and live action.
Right, like the Mary Poppins
style.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So the trailer for it looked pretty cool, but I don't know how it's going to look. Because I think Pete's Dragon was pretty doped up.
Yeah, it was pink and green.
Yeah.
But this one seems like they should change the title to Pete's Dog.
Yeah.
It looks like it's furry. It doesn't even look like a dragon, right? It looks like the one from The Neverending Story.
Yeah. Falcor.
Yeah.
But he used to have a dog that looked like Falcor. That's the only reason I remember that name.
Yeah.
I believe this is a Disney property.
I believe it is. At least the original one was. So
so I'm sure this will get a big viewership. And again, you're reintroducing some of these films, some of these concepts, some of these old movies to a new generation. So you're updating a lot of this. And that's a lot, I think this is what the summer is about.
Yeah.
Is reintroducing a lot of these stories to a younger generation.
That's a good point, yeah.
So you get like the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
You're looking at Alice in Wonderland. You're going throwback sequels to the Independence Day.
Yeah.
And you're getting Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So you're seeing a lot of this introducing of old concept movies from the 70s and 80s. It's you're really trying to capture people like us that have kids and maybe a bit older that experience these movies as the summer blockbusters in their youth, and now they're trying to pick up back on their children. So it's kind of a cool thing that they're doing here. When you look through the slate of movies, you're seeing a lot of rehashing of old concepts and long-awaited sequels. Like we're talking for Independence Day, we're talking like, what is it, 20 years since the original?
Yeah, wow.
And over 20 years, I think. So
yeah, because 96 or 94 came out.
Was it 94 or 96? I don't know, something like that.
It's well overdue, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that they got all the cast back, and it looks like, looking at the trailers, it's going to be, I've spent 25 years preparing everyone for this. So it looks like they're going just real time.
Yeah. 25 years to grow out that beard.
Exactly. And then Ben-Hur, which again was a movie that was made, I think, originally in the late 50s. And it was considered like this massive effects spectacle. Yeah, groundbreaking is a great word for it. And they're coming back to this. So this like swords and sandals type movie. And I have seen the original Ben-Hur once, a long time ago. And I'm a bit intrigued by this movie to see. I'm not a huge fan of the whole swords and sandals genre itself. I did like Gladiator and a few of those other movies. So I'm interested. I'm intrigued by this one to see if they're able to capture... going back and revisiting Ben-Hur 1959 is probably not going to be a pleasant experience for most modern day audiences. But updating it, and again, hitting on this idea of going back and updating these things for a new generation. And is this going to get a massive franchise there? Probably not. Someone's probably taking this as a passion project and said, I loved Ben-Hur as a kid, or my dad did, or whatever, and I want to do it well. I want to do it and pull this into the modern day. So I'm hoping it's not just going to be another Swords and Sandals movie. We've had a lot of those, 300, and Gods of Egypt was a giant flop this year. So these movies are hit and miss. They're kind of like Westerns, right? You get a good one, and then you get a couple of shitty ones, and then you get another good one. So hopefully this hits on the good mark. And this kind of ends off the summer blockbuster season on a high note. As interspersed there too in August, you have Suicide Squad, which is kind of in the place of where the original Guardians was, and it was a breakout hit as well, which I'm expecting that Suicide Squad is going to be too.
For sure.
But we're not talking about comic book movies. That kind of wraps up the whole summer slate. Do you have any thoughts? Is there anything that we kind of missed? Or is there anything else that you're looking forward to?
Well, in general, I got... Actually, the trailer just came out. Ben Affleck and J.K. Simmons, the accountant.
Okay.
Looks really, really cool. Make sure you check it out. It's
when does that drop?
I don't even know. It must be pretty soon.
Okay.
But the role that Ben Affleck's playing is something we've never seen him do before. He has zero dialogue throughout the whole trailer, and this guy looks like he's about his business in this trailer.
Okay.
So go out and check it out. Looks really cool. The Magnificent Seven, which is a cool Western coming out with Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, and Ethan Hawke.
So that should be pretty cool. For that. I don't know when that drops.
I'm not too sure. It makes sense to be in the summer, eh? But I don't know.
I'm not sure if it will or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, the trailer looked awesome.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. What's the other? Fantastic Beasts. I mean, I've never really been to Harry Potter, but Courtney got me into it, and it's pretty cool. And I'm a sucker for prequels. Even though it's not a direct prequel, but it's set in that universe, I think 70 years before. So that should be pretty neat. And The Girl on the Train, it's based off a novel.
Okay.
Again, Courtney read this book, and is a pretty cool concept going on. So those are the things I'm looking forward to outside of the comic book world, basically. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. Well, like we said, this is a movie, this is a summer of revisiting and trying to capture some of that nostalgia. And, for me personally, I'm not getting that vibe, that feel, but I think it's really cool that they're going back and rehashing some of these ideas.
Absolutely.
And the fact that they were produce a movie like Jungle Book that gets awesome critical reception and awesome fan reception is just a real testament to what Disney's doing over there as far as bringing and modernizing these films. And I'm hoping we see that throughout this summer and we get some surprise hits in there as well. I'm hoping to see that, Independence Day does really well.
I hope so.
And I hope it's just kind of what we're expecting.
Yeah.
Don't go in there expecting a character plot-driven, something that connects up and makes so much sense and makes you really think it's just going to be a bunch of aliens blowing shit up.
What studio was this? Is it Fox? Or I can't remember.
I don't know. Huh. I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see, though.
Let us know what you guys think about the summer movie slate.
Yeah, what are you most anticipating this summer, right?
Yeah. So you can hit us up on Twitter. Our Twitter handles are at the end of the episode, or you can always get us at #into the nerd room.
Exactly. Easiest way.
Let us know your thoughts, your opinions on some of our blockbuster movies. What were some of your favorites as a kid? And what are some of the ones you're looking forward to this year? Next week, we're talking X-Men and Apocalypse in comics. So we're bringing on a buddy, Elliot. He's coming in. He's our in-house
X-Men guru.
Exactly. Yeah. We were like that guy in Pawn Stars. I know a guy. Just give me a second. I know a guy. So he's going to come in and talk all things X-Men and Apocalypse in the comics. So we're going to focus in, similar to what we did with Civil War, some of the key stories around Apocalypse and X-Men, and really what he thinks is going to fold into the movie. So he's gone back and revisited some of the animated cartoons, some of the key storylines from the mid-90s, and some of the Age of Apocalypse stuff as well. So he's going to give us a good indication. So I'm going to try to go back, and Troy's going to try to go back and read a few things, revisit some of the animated stuff. So we have a good discussion going into, and try to make a few predictions here. So I'm going to try to do less predictions so that I'm not weighing myself into the movie too much and being disappointed when something doesn't happen. Not that I was disappointed with Civil War. I want to make that very, very clear.
So it'll be a great episode, especially for everybody out there that's trying to get into the X-Men universe, because it's very hard. Well, I don't want to say very hard, but it's kind of difficult to get into, right? Because the X-Men, it's like, where do you start? Because there's so much history and story arcs that go on. So be sure to check out that episode next week, because that'll be a good jumping point, basically, to get back into the X-Men.
I think it's time I go check out Civil War again.
Yeah, you should do it, man. I'm probably going to go sometime this week.
All right, buddy. As always, it's been a pleasure talking comics and movies. For the Nerd Room, I'm Tim.
I'm Troy.
And thank you for entering the Nerd Room. So yeah, I'm not doing that.
No, we're Sanjay. No. Yeah. Should do a hashtag vote Sanjay back on the show. Speed up the process.
Come on. Hashtag Sanjay lives, or come on back Sanjay or something. I don't know. All right, guys, we are out. Don't forget to subscribe and rate and review us on iTunes. You can find our hosts Tim, Sanjay, and Troy on Twitter at TheNerdRM, 1912 Podcasting, and Troy, The Boy, 87.